need a hand. We all need somebody to lean on. I just might have a problem that you'd understand. We all need somebody to lean on. Lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on me when you're not strong, and I'll be your friend. I'll help you carry on. Oh, it won't be long till I'm gonna need somebody to lean on.
And after a brief musical interlude, we're ready for announcements. I'm going to cheat and read off of this screen. All right, so we have lots of different team activities this coming week. We have CLT on June 17th. We have, I think, the Green Team is meeting on June 18th at my place again. That last meeting was excellent. And Spirit and Worship on June 19th at Jim's place, who is now in France. We have Green Team coming up on Monday as usual, and choir on May 28th. And the book club will be meeting May 30th at Rosemary's house on Indian Mountain Road. What did I say? I have Green Team on the brain, sorry guys. We have an event going on tonight, it's very exciting. Teen Jam, who you just heard. So Visionators, we have made a donation to the Caring Kitchen, and we have an upcoming event, the Otasha Project, which I just mentioned, on this evening at 7:30. And the Lounsbury Funds Challenge is happening this weekend on May 31st, and Terry asked me to, $600? About $600 is what we've raised so far for the Lounsbury Fund Challenge.
And just to let the remaining, no, am I on there?
Yep.
Just to let the remaining team members know, that means that we are now in charge of $400 between now and the end of the week. So all of us have to get busy knocking on doors, and thank you to Visions for all the great support so far. I also think that there's an M&S thermometer to walk its way forward, Jen. There also should be here in the kitchen.
Yes, and Glenda did ask me to remind everyone that Grocery Sunday is next Sunday. For those of us, such as myself, who usually forget that it's Grocery Sunday.
Okay, so as you know, I usually try to do an update on where we are in our mission and service giving to each month. So as of the end of April, our objective was to donate $6,666, and in actuality, we donated $6,945. So we're a little ahead of the game, so thank you very much. I just wanted to mention one thing very briefly. If you're new to Visions United, or you're new to going to church, or you don't usually donate to mission and service, but you think you might like to, there are several ways you can do that. If you have an envelope and you haven't been donating, on your envelope, the second line says mission and service, and you just fill in on that envelope what you'd like to give. If you're on CAR, there's also a line here for mission and service that you can fill in to donate that way. Or if you just want to make a donation to mission and service, you can use a blank envelope, put on what you want to donate, your name and information, and you can donate that way. So as you know, the Mission and Service Fund does great work all over the world as well as in our backyard, so we greatly appreciate all that you donate. Thank you.
mentioned before, it's at 7:30 tonight. This is a great group of kids that's been biking across all of Canada or just Atlantic Canada? Atlantic Canada. And they are going to be up at the Stylesville campus tonight at 7:30, putting on a play that they only use their bodies as props. It's very interesting. And it is going to be on environmental and social justice issues. So we really encourage people to come. It's a free will offering, and it should be a lot of fun.
Bring people.
Bring
lots and lots of people with you.
And as I said before, Lounsbury Fun Challenge. Come out this weekend, support our team, and Ava wants to say something.
There's a sheet on the generosity table it is, and if you want to donate, then you can sign up there.
And brochures, I think. That's everything. Okay,
Yes.
so last.
No, we have a Green Team PowerPoint coming up there before we get into the WOW. So
Just before we do the WOW, I'm Carolyn Hansen. I'm the chair lady of UCW, and every year in June we do an outing, and all the ladies of the congregation are more than welcome to join us. This year we're at the Garden Breeze, Wednesday, June 11th at 6:30. If you'd like to come, I have a sign-in sheet. I would be more than happy to put your name on it. Thank you.
Okay. Who's handling the Green Team PowerPoint?
that's me.
Okay.
You can start, Brian. I caught from here. So as Dan mentioned, the Green Team is on fire, not destructively, but with an infusion of passion. And one of the things that we really want to do is to try to empower our community to make socially conscious and environmentally just decisions on how we each live as individuals, as family, and as a community of faith. So some of the initiatives that the Green Team are going to be launching throughout the next handful of months to help us in the upcoming year are as follows. And Tammy provided this and created this slideshow for us here to help you know what's coming your way, what opportunities are opening for you. So the first is we're looking at creating a CSA project where you can plug into local community supported agricultural opportunities so that you are actually supporting the farmers right here in your neighborhood, and that we'll help you a link for that. Fair trade and local buying is another issue that we're looking at. Just Us Coffee is a buying cooperative that we will be beginning. So you'll see some surveys starting this month, because there's about 20 different coffees we could purchase, but you have to buy them by the crate or the box, which would be a little bit loopy. So we'll probably be asking you, what kind of coffee do you prefer to drink, what kind of tea, and would you buy through our cooperative? So you'll be asked to fill in some blanks, and Terry will probably have an electronic device to go around and ask you to do some things, and you'll probably be receiving some emails and some surveys to fill in to help us do that. Same with the Buyers Co-op through Spearville Flour, which has local and ancient grains that are healthier for us to be eating. And reusable shopping bags. We are working hard at trying to find some organic fibers to make some sustainable bags for your shopping. We're not talking necessarily about the bags that you already buy from Sobeys and Superstore, those big ones that put your groceries in. But you know those little tiny skinny plastic bags that you put your tomatoes in that drive you nuts, because when you do with them afterwards, they're really damaging on the environment. So these thin cloth muslin bags are what we're trying to create for an opportunity for us to use. So there you go. Coming to a theater near you this fall, your Green Team is going to be leading you in some environmental sustainable projects.
And one more thing.
One thing we want to do in the fall is also sell homemade laundry soap, which is a lot better for the environment than a lot of the chemically produced laundry soaps. But before we do that, we actually need a lot of empty containers. So if you could please start saving 2 or 4 liter plastic jugs, preferably clear so that you can actually see the content. We will be developing some labels to put on them with instructions on how to use the laundry soap. The soap is a really simple natural ingredients and much, much cheaper than what you can buy in the store. So start saving the jugs so that we can start selling some laundry detergent. Yeah, you can use it in the HE front end loaders because it really doesn't suds, but it really does clean up. Been using it now for the last couple of months.
I told you they were on fire.
And now for some wow moments. Has anybody had close encounters with God this week? Oh, I had the opportunity last Monday to appear as an extra in a movie. A friend I went to school with was a lead actress, and they were looking for extras to play part in a club scene. And it was a lot of work. I underestimated what it's like just to be there for 2 seconds. There was like 20 or 30 different takes, and it was a really good experience for me. And I've always been interested in acting, so the fact that I got to do that in a movie was amazing. And it will be playing at the Silver Wave Festival in November in Fredericton, I believe. So that's very cool. Anybody else?
Wow, is Evelyn Kenny ever getting old? Apparently she just had a birthday.
Who else had a birthday? We had Evelyn's birthday. Anybody else?
One back there.
Oh, wonderful. All right. So God's blessings on you, my friends.
God's blessings on you. God's blessings on you. God's blessings on you. God's blessings on you.
The big literacy test ends on Monday, so I'm really happy about that. Yesterday, my mom came home after work, and she said, I got some big news for you, Kiana. So I was like, oh, it's probably going to be about church or something. That's cool. But then she said, I went to the SPCA and saw if they needed any volunteers. And they said they did, and they needed someone to play with the cats and walk the dogs, my 2 favorite animals. So she told me that, and I was like, well, that's no better than church. But and so it was really great because since she's allergic to cats, I can't have one. But if I volunteer there, I get to spend a lot of days with them.
Very cool. Anybody else?
I do have one. My daughter was nominated to she became on the dean's list at university. Yes.
But I had quite a few encounters with John Russell yesterday.
Close.
Anyway, it's great fun. So we raised, I think it's around $17.33 with the total garage sale. So we'll be able to help quite a few children with their camping. And John brought all kinds of stuff in. I told him not to bring. And guess what? Most of it sold.
He got a free pair of glasses out of it.
Yes, I did.
All right. On that note, I will turn it over. Oh, one.
This isn't really a wow moment, but I want to say thank you so much for putting in the effort and having the idea and making that garage sale happen to help kids go to camp, because it's really great. And I know that it costs a lot of money, and it's really, really great that you would do something like that. So thank you.
Well, my friends, let's let that wow enter this moment in time, and let's settle ourselves into the gentleness and the inspiration of the holy. And we'll ask Logan to open up the holy for us with the Christ Lord. today celebrating the beauty of creation that's come alive around us in spring and connecting ourselves to that cycle of creation. We are honoring the earth and our sacred connection to all creation. So I invite you into this time of service where we are celebrating environmental stewardship. And to do that, I'm asking you to embrace these walls and send your spirit into connection to the directions around us, to the four directions of east, south, west, and north, to the sky and to the earth. And to help us do that, we're going to follow the practice of Aboriginal Canadians and Native Americans, where they face the four directions, actually 7 directions if you count Father Sky, Mother Earth, and the center of life, which is the Creator. I'm going to ask you to do that, and I'm going to need help from Dre to point us east. That way. So I'm going to invite you to say this prayer in unison together, and I am going to ask you, if you're comfortable, to stand, to stand. If you're not comfortable to stand, then if you can just kind of intentionally send your energy in that direction. Or if you have wheels, then maybe you'd like to spin in a circle as we go around. That'll work. So my friends, let us face the east. We face the east, the direction of new beginnings, of sunrise. And we give thanks for the warmth of the sun and the coming new day. We pray for the power of knowledge, wisdom, and all new beginnings. Oops. Follow Greg. We face the south, the direction of soft, warm winds, and we give thanks for the gift of life on this moist earth. We pray for the power to grow. We pray for peace in the world. Turn about here as you look over your shoulder. We face the west, the direction of the setting sun and the spirit of water. We give thanks for the water of life. We pray for purity and strength. We pray for self-understanding. We face north, the direction of the cold winds. We give thanks for the great white cleansing wind. We pray for the wisdom of experience. We give thanks to Mother Earth and Father Sky, who surrounds us with life, for all the creatures we share life with, and their gifts and wisdom. We give thanks to you, Creator, the Spirit that moves through all things. We give thanks for the blessing of life. May we live in balance within your creation. Question about it, my friends?
This is
teeny minute. So maybe if the kids would like to come down, I need a little bit of help up here. I'd like to invite people to pray about the earth. And one way that we can pray is by singing a little chant. And there's a lovely little chant called, "Oh Beautiful Gaia." Do you know what the word Gaia means? It's a Greek word meaning Mother Earth. And we often refer to the earth in the feminine, like a mother, a woman, because she gives life, right? Everything comes from the earth. Have you seen lots of new life coming about this spring? See anything new growing on your lawn? Lots of nature around. There they are. They are. They're inside of a dandelion, I think, aren't they? A real close-up picture. What else is growing new this spring? Lots of more grass. Looks better than snow. Slugs. Pathways full of slugs. What else? Lots of birds. You hear them chirping?
Mosquitoes.
Bees, mosquitoes. I saw my first June bug. No, but they are really part of our ecosystem, part of our planet, an important part. Black flies. I think there's, everybody stand up for a minute. I see some other things that are growing. People are growing too. So everything on this planet is growing, and we all share the food, we all share the resources, all the good things that the earth gives us. So there's a little chant, and I'll have Brian put it up for us. So it goes, "Oh beautiful Gaia, oh Gaia calling us home." What's calling us home mean? We're already here. Anybody have any idea what that might mean? Well, yeah, bringing us to God or something. That's a great way of saying it. So, yeah, we're kind of saying, you know what, help us to remember that the earth is beautiful and that it's sacred. It's a gift from God, and we need to come back to that and take care of our beautiful planet. Oh, beautiful Gaia, calling us on. So it's to try to help us to remember that God is kind of the center of all creation, and that we are called to take care of it. So I think it would be very fun for us to sing this as we say different prayers. I'm going to invite anybody here to offer a prayer, and then we'll, after anyone offers a prayer for the earth, we're going to respond by singing this little song. So let's start by singing it, and then we'll ask people to just lift up your prayers for the earth, and you guys can help us pray. witnesses that claim the healing people's lives. Anyone else have a prayer to offer? For Ruby and John Hayward, thank you, who are both in the hospital at the same time and certainly need our prayers of healing and strength. There are other people in hospital or in sickness that you want to name? Michael, Fred? Let's surround them with healing and love. And before you go on, there's one last thing about being a part of this beautiful earth and about being connected to the creator of life that's very important. We have to trust, don't we? We need to trust God that God is there to help us heal the earth and that God is guiding us to help each other as we journey through life on this earth. So I would like you to sing another song, and you know it. It's God's or the whole world is in God's hands. Do you know that song? Sort of, kind of. Well, you'll figure it out because everybody out here probably knows that song. They're going to help us sing it. But we're going to have a little fun with this to help us remember that the earth is in God's hands and it's in someone else's too. Are you ready? There we go. A throwback? Absolutely. So we're all kind of sharing a part and taking care of creation. And I think that these three girls are going to help us here by turning around. And you better keep your eyeballs up and your hands up because this is going to get a little exciting. So to help us remember that we are co-creators in this world, helping God to heal the world, let's sing. Well, thank you, everybody. So I'm going to invite the older kids, if they'd like to stay in, to watch a video in a few minutes on farming, and the younger kids, if all the kids, some of the younger kids want to stay in. So anybody who wants to go out with Candy Pen, and the rest of you, if you want to stay in to watch video on farming, you can do that too. See where Tanya is right there. If anybody who wants to head out right now, and anybody who wants to stay to watch the video. Thank you for your help, guys. We are celebrating that connection to the source of life, to the source of beauty and wonder in all creation. And I'm going to ask Claudia to open up for us some sacred readings from our tradition.
I'd like to join in listening to expression of our faith. First reading is from Ezekiel 47, verse 9. Wherever the river goes, every living creature that swarms will live, and there will be very many fish. Once these waters reach there, it will become fresh, and everything will live where the river goes. The second reading is from John 4, verses 13 and 14. Jesus said to her, "Everyone who drinks of this water will be thirsty again. But those who drink of the water that I will give them will never be thirsty. The water that I will give will become in them a spring of water gushing up to eternal life." There's an example in this book of people that are actually walking the talk, which will be joining that illustrious group come the fall with the green team. Congregations from different denominations located within the Chesapeake Bay watershed decided to form a group to protect the bay's special ecosystem. The network exists to establish healing ministries for lands and waters, to revere and cherish God's creation, and restore the ability of the Chesapeake Bay to sustain a diversity of life. More than 20 churches began this ecumenical movement, and they now gather together at conferences and other meetings to meet their goal of being God's partner in the restoration of this beloved watershed.
Thank you, Claudia. My friends, as people of faith, we seek to find that source of life within us and around us and the connection between us. This next song is a bit of a beautiful jazzy song, but it's also a very prayerful song where you're really looking at that double meaning of the river of life, like the physical rivers that we're connected with, which are absolutely fundamental for our physical needs. We have to have water. We have to have clean water for all life to live. On top of that, we have to have that living source of spiritual connection within ourselves and between us and the spirit of life in order for us to continually draw strength. But even more than that, to continue to be people of hope. That is the fundamental of why we would choose to be people of faith. Because we're choosing to be people who believe that something is healable. It's possible to have new life. And as Christians, that's very fundamental. As people of any walk of faith, it is fundamental that you are a person of hope. So I ask you to invite that concept into your being as we sing River Running Through You and Me.
Sarah, I like this,
you how those words of faith that we listened to earlier manifest themselves in real life, where people who are people of the Jewish faith tradition decided that their faith and their culture were a strong framework in order to build their community life upon. And they created a garden project or a farm project that is based on their beliefs. And it's quite exciting to watch. It's about a 10-minute video clip, and I invite you to walk into this world.
It's hard to encourage a young person to get really committed to environmentalism if they never have any connection with nature. So by bringing them out onto the farm, then we're able to establish that connection from a pretty early point.
There's this prevailing notion amongst Muslims and Christians in the United States where they say, well, it doesn't matter, the world's going to end anyway, and we should just pollute. What actually it says in our tradition is that you are supposed to have hope, but have action.
If we get our relationship with the natural world right, then our relationship with the other beings and then other people will automatically be right.
Small steps will make us stewards of the earth. It will encourage us and encourage us and encourage us.
CBS presents Stewards of the Earth, One Planet, Many Faiths. The narrator is Ted Holmes.
The Jewish Farm School is a nonprofit educational organization near Cold Spring, New York. Their mission? To encourage environmental stewardship through sustainable agriculture. The farm is organic and uses techniques based on writings in the Torah, the Jewish Old Testament.
We have a cultural tradition around food. Matzah ball shoot, matzah, Shabbos meal. And what has kind of been forgotten and left behind is the culture around seeds, around growing food. We're going back to the land and adding Jewish culture into our agriculture. Jewish agriculture instructs us mostly on what to plant next to each other or what not to plant next to each other. It gives us diagrams on how to plant our vineyards, how to plant different crops, where we should be planting our wheat. In the sense of soil construction, we haven't found that yet. But there are volumes and volumes of literature that we're still figuratively and literally unearthing here. It's an amazing science. It's an amazing tradition, Jewish agriculture.
Food is really important on a few fronts. One is industrial agriculture accounts for, I believe, around 25% of our energy use between the producing and the distribution of food. That's an enormous toll on the environment right now. We employ an industrial model that wreaks havoc on the planet, exploits workers, and is at the root cause of a lot of the diet-related diseases that we're now seeing in the inner city and beyond. But also food is a potent gathering point for people to come together. When you start cooking real, tasty, local, seasonal food, you don't have to convince anyone that it's the right thing to do. They can taste it.
As an educational farm, they use part of the land to model different planting techniques.
One is a no-till section in which we maintain the soil structure and we allow these beds each year to grow and grow and grow. We will cover crop and we will add nutrients, but we will not go back in there with a tiller. Then right in front of me is a tilled section of production rows. Less paths and more tilling. We go in here and we work the soil. Just next to that, what you think is just grass, that's actually cover crop. It's rye and vetch. And we are adding what we call green manure, green matter, to the soil every year and renewing that in order to plant in it one day.
The calendar garden shows how agricultural cycles are tied to Jewish cultural traditions.
We use the wisdom of the sunflower to design our calendar garden. There are 12 different spokes, each representing a different month.
So what we do is with each one of these months, we plant it with plants that are connected to the themes of that month. Sometimes it's more playful and sometimes it's more serious. So for example, in Nisan, which is the month of Passover, we've got a few different plants going on here. We have horseradish growing, which is something that we eat at the Passover Seder. We have parsley, which is also something that we eat at the Passover Seder. And we have some barley growing in the back because Passover was not only the commemoration of the exodus from Egypt, but it's also a celebration of the barley harvest. And then to symbolize the 10 plagues, we have a new locust statue right in the middle of the bed to remind us that other people had to suffer as well, even through our freedom. We can come into this calendar garden and use it as a living laboratory to bring some of the Jewish agricultural history to life and some of the Jewish holidays and traditions to life. Most students aren't learning about this in their Hebrew school. They don't even know the names of the months, let alone the holidays that fall within them, or anything about the ecological roots of the calendar.
Another basic tenet of Jewish agriculture is to share a portion of the harvest.
So this is our Peah garden. Peah is the commandment in the Torah and the Bible to leave the corners of your field for those who don't have their own land to come and harvest for themselves. And there's a whole series of Jewish agricultural laws that basically instruct us to give a portion of what we grow to ensure that the needs of all members of our community are met. When I was living in Philadelphia, I started to get interested in urban agriculture, urban farming, urban gardening, everything from keeping a few chickens in our house and having a small garden to also working at an inner city high school running an after-school garden program. And really through that being exposed to many people who live in a completely different world, where there's no access to fresh produce. The education and awareness around those issues is minimal. So a first step in all this is education. And what I found is that Judaism is a powerful vehicle for galvanizing community efforts. And when you can say, look what our tradition teaches us, these ancient laws about making sure that everyone has access to food, it provides this kind of underlying inspiration to then go out and do good work in the world.
For high school and college students who want to learn about sustainability and environmental justice, the farm offers alternative spring breaks.
These trees have productive lifespans of about 50 to 100 years.
Jonah Meadows-Adele oversees the program.
We want the tree to get used to our clay soil that's not very nutritious and make it really work. Sometimes we jokingly refer to the Torah, the Old Testament, as the Jewish Farmer's Almanac because there's so much agricultural wisdom encoded in the Torah. And that wisdom is inherently social justice wisdom. For the Jewish people, historically, ecological wisdom was not different from justice. So we had the opportunity to try out some of those traditions. This is an American hazelnut tree. We practice not harvesting from our fruit trees for the first 3 years that they're alive in order that the trees themselves can grow stronger.
Growing up in the city, it's just such an amazing opportunity to be outdoors and learn about where your food actually comes from. There's a few things you need in this world, and food is one of them. So we really get back in touch with how they've been doing it for 3,000 years. This is actually the oldest job. It's not marketing.
There are tremendous environmental issues out there, and between the way we grow crops in America and the way people are so dependent on fuel, and we're just really damaging something that's given us so much.
Do you guys remember why we use the tinfoil on our solar ovens?
So bouncing.
Exactly. So the sun up there bounces off.
It's kind of disappointing to see that we haven't really moved on from our pretty barbaric ways of treating the environment.
This is what the universe wants. It wants us to be co-creators with life. So we come out here and we plant trees and we learn about nature and we listen to the animals and we listen to the plants and we sing songs. I don't know why singing songs together works so well in connecting people with nature, but it's just a fantastic way of building community and creating an authentic relationship with creation.
There's a saying that I was taught once, let the mountains speak for the mountains. Our job is made easy for us by somewhere inside all of us. There's this profound connection we have to nature and to the land. And when we come out onto the field and we start digging and we start planting, something just lights up. And as educators, we can kind of sit back and relax and kind of let the farm speak for the farm, let the plants speak for the plants. And that's really an exciting thing to watch, that kind of the transformation that happens for the students. One of the things that's really inspiring is seeing how people can be really resourceful, can take the resources that they have at hand and do something powerful with them. And you see that a lot in the city. You see people taking vacant lots and turning them into gardens and farms. And then you see community just very organically builds around those efforts.
We have to do stuff right now here on this earth. We have to leave the earth better than we found it, because the way we treat the planet is a reflection of the way we treat ourselves.
I decided that now I don't have a lot of time left because my body is getting old and maybe I can't do really a lot. It's not that I can do it, but by doing it, it gives me peace. It gives me happiness. That's another one.
So do you feel like picking up your hoe and going out and planting something? How many people have gardens? One of the most interesting parts of that video for me was how somebody had taken their culture and their faith system and their passion and wove those together and let the hopefulness of the tradition feed them, to let the wisdom of their tradition feed how they do things, and then to let their culture deepen and take deeper roots through their daily practice. I think that's something that we have easily lost in the last handful of decades, that we've had this kind of disconnect from how our faith and our culture informs how we live on a day-to-day basis. So I just want to explore for a few minutes with you how faith informs how we live environmentally. And one of the most core and basic principles is that God is. So that concept that there is a creator. So God is, creator, however you envision that word creator to be. But that fundamental understanding that there is somehow someone who has gifted us life. And somehow that presence of life, or that energy of creativity, that energy of creator, is in all creatures. So that takes it a step further from God is to we are, and what are we? And they use the phrase in this video, co-creators, which is a little bit scarier than just putting kind of the creator or God on the outside, and then we can just point the finger at God and say, oh, thank you, God, for the gift of life, it's great, and then point the finger back to God for all the problems of life, which is absolutely not what our tradition informs us. Both the Jewish tradition and the Christian tradition follows the principle that we are co-creators, that we have been asked to be in sacred relationship with the holy and to take care of the gifts that we have received. So the gift of our own life and the gift of all life around us are indeed our responsibility. And the creativity that happens between those things are also our responsibility. So that claiming is a responsibility, and it's also a power. So back to that word of hope. If we're going to be people of hope, then we have to believe in our own power to be creative in solutions through an ecologically just world. The third thing that is fundamental, and again present in this video and present in our own tradition, is that others are sacred creations. Not just humanity, but all creatures hold a sacred blessing within this web of life. And if that is so, it is to see the holy in all around us. And if we are going to actually look at every blade of grass and every bee and tree and plant and animal, even the things we don't particularly like, as holy, then there's a different relationship that happens. And again, you heard in this video the words about ecological stewardship, and that for the people in this particular teaching prime and out of the Judeo model of agriculture, that there is that perspective of justice, and it's not separate from ecology. Sometimes we look at justice as just being social justice to do with humans. That, we want to make sure that all the humans have all the things that they deserve to be just and fair. And we separate that justice from ecology and say, well, ecology is another issue, or what they're challenging us to see is that these two are intertwined, that really ecological care is a strong justice issue. This is an issue about keeping sacred balance where all of creation has what it needs to live in abundance. The concept of change and transformation are also themes that are strongly present in our faith tradition, where you repetitively see people who have been broken, who have been invited into healing. You've seen, he referred to the locusts and the plagues, but that was never the end of the story. The end of the story was always that people were restored, or that the environment was restored and rebalanced. And that's a really, really critical piece for us to remember as people of faith, is that there is the hope piece, that we have, we are connected with the sacred creator who believes in the hopefulness of our relationship, that we are invited into healing and hope. And in this time of environmental chaos and uncertainty, that belief system is absolutely fundamental. Otherwise, we might as well just all kick back and use the remote control and watch TV until we're done. Because really, it's easier, right? It's easier to sit back. I really like going home and watching television. I like that better than going out and having to put on my muck boots and go out and try to make change. It's harder. It's harder to stare the problems in the face, and then it's harder to say, I have a responsibility to help this problem, and it's harder to say, I don't know enough about this, so I guess I better go learn. Go hang out with Norm in his field. Learn what you can. And then on top of that, I have a responsibility to try to heal this problem. But fundamentally, under all of that, is that we are blessed with being in a sacred and holy connection with the Spirit of life, who will show us how to heal, who does believe we can, who will help us to restore balance. So I want to offer to you, it's kind of a poem prayer that I had found, and it's an anonymous author, so I can't help you with knowing the authorship. However, if you bang around on the internet, it is amazing how many people of hope are there from multiple traditions and walks of life. And the thread that connects them is this kind of sacredness of perspective. People who, whether they are Christian, Jewish, Muslim, Korean Christian, Buddhist, or pagan, who are nature-based religions, regardless of whatever framework they put their belief systems, fundamentally there is this sense that there is a sacredness to life. So I want to offer this poem of creativity, co-creativity, to you. We are birthed out of and participate in the transforming and nourishing process of nature. Creation is sacred. All around us, we see the creativity of nature's dynamic processes, holy and ongoing. We are an integral part of these acts of creation, as we too are creators. Each of us has the ability to bring forth from our innate oneness whatever our souls are led to create. You are a creator with our Creator. Co-creating is sacramental, regardless of how you choose to manifest this gift. Indeed, a responsibility. Examine your life for ways to express this creativity. There are unlimited opportunities. Become a connoisseur of models of creation, savoring the splendor all around you and participating fully in this miracle we share. I'll ask for you to just sit back and reflect for a moment as the choir will lead us in a prayerful song here.
confessing our strife. Let every nation give praise for creation, and hallow all life and all beauty. Let every nation give praise for creation, and hallow all life and all beauty. Teach us of you to these daughters of peace, obeying us is our stock of peace. Your name in all that we do, fulfilling and calling, creating with you. Let every nation give praise for creation, and all life and all beauty. Let every nation give praise for creation, and all life and all beauty. May God the Creator, may God the Creator be praised
Good morning. As a father and a proud new grandfather with Laurie Daphne, I'm also a committed blood donor, and I have a video I want to share. One of the reasons a lot of people say, well, what is this? It's Scott Payne Blood Services giving an ad. What it is the type of thing we've been talking about since the first of the year. As stewards, we believe you can give your time, your talents, and your money. Well, as finance, we appreciate all the gifts and sacrificial giving that we receive, but we also want to talk about some of the other good things. And I wanted to share a video that we found that I think kind of shows how a very small gift keeps on giving. This is the man with a golden arm and how he single-handedly has basically defeated RH or Rhesus disease. So bear with me, it's a short video, and I'll close it for that.
A Central Coast man has made history, notching up a record number of blood plasma donations. His extraordinary gift has saved the lives of more than 2 million unborn babies.
In 40 minutes, James Harrison saves thousands of lives.
A number of mothers have come up to me and said, thank you very much for what you've done, because I now have 1, 2, 3 healthy children.
Mr. Harrison's been donating blood plasma for 57 years. Today is his 1,000th donation.
It's enormous. It's a superhuman effort. In terms of the contribution of time to the community, we can't measure it.
The 74-year-old's plasma contains an antibody needed to make life-saving injections for mothers whose blood is attacking their unborn baby. 17% of pregnant women will need the injection called Anti-D.
For mothers who are of negative blood group, who have a positive partner, they'll need a little bit of me in it.
James's blood is in every batch of Anti-D made in Australia. He's saved 2.4 million babies. His daughter Tracy needed the injection when she was pregnant with her second son.
Dad had always donated, and we knew that, but until I was pregnant and knew the consequences, then, yeah, it sort of hit home.
Her son Scott's now 16 and donated blood today for the first time.
It's like the master and the apprentice.
With the hard work done, it was time to celebrate the milestones.
James has made the Guinness Book of Records for his donations, but he says this is one title he doesn't want to hold on to.
I could say it's the only record I hope is broken, because if they do, they have donated 1,000 donations.
Melinda Nusafora, 10 News.
Just to tell you, what we're really wanting to symbolize here, before I leave you in prayer, is that a gift, and sometimes we don't know what it means, can change so many lives. When we think of what we do for the Care and Kitchen, we think of the people you're helping out, we think of what we're doing here, we think of the Mission and Service Fund, we think of the abundance and the blessings that we have as a church. Please continue to give, and please continue to share. Please join me in prayer. Heavenly Lord, precious Father, we thank you for all these wonderful people. We thank you for blessings and the abundance that we do enjoy. We think of our lifestyle. We thank you for what you're doing in our lives, and we hope that it continues and that you will continue to have the right feelings for us as we continue to share with you.
Hello, my friends. Go forth into the world to share who you are and what you are, and fill the spaces between you and all life with a sacred connection. Go filled with the spirit of life, knowing that you are blessed and you are loved, and that your lives become a blessing to the world. And as we go out, let's sing I'm Gonna Live, and I Got Peace. So this is kind of a shake it up, shake it down, dance all around kind of tune, so I invite you to pop up or move however you would like to sing our closing tunes.
God, can you